Welcome to Lock Tech. Now, in case you all haven't been under a rock for technology in general for the last moves and waves that's been going on, there's a lot been shifting going on in recent months, specifically in the CPU market. Now, let's start with one of the elephants in the room. We all know that by now, Intel has been going through a lot of phases as far as problems with customer service and their 13th and 14th gen actually degrading at a higher rate and blowing up due to the motherboards and poor voltage levels and all the other good stuff. And they're still in hot water. They tried to fix a couple times, but they kind of were nonchalant about their apology to customers. And as a result, due to these events, they have lost a lot of trust from their customers that they were leading for years and years and years before AMD Ryzen came into play. So just let's start out to the nitty gritty. 13th, 14th gen, blowing up, however you want to put it, whatever exaggerate you want to do. Bottom line is, they were not working and people were returning them and until they want to give them a refund or RMA them. So they're in hot water for that already. They released some microcode stuff, but from what I've seen so far research-wise, the microcode was really kind of like BS and they didn't really fix the core of the issue. So sure enough, they came back. I guess they couldn't take any more heat. They gave up some half-assed apology to customers, thinking I would get them back on the bandwagon, but that was not suffice. So they're still in hot water. So in an attempt to get back the trust of the customers, they decided to build from the ground up. They completely revoked all their 13th and 14th gen and created a new generation. I guess you can call it 15th gen, but it's technically like a more refined and upgraded version of 14th gen, which is one of the key ones generation that was given issues to Intel. And long story short, the new Ultra series CPUs that Intel was trying to do as a band-aid to bring their trust back to the customers were pretty much crap. They did, however, give it shouts to them, they did achieve one of their goals of increasing efficiency. So each of the ones compared to the 13th and 14th gen put in 30 to 50 watts plus less than 13th and 14th gen counterparts. But sure enough, that was probably the only notable thing to mention. The gaming benchmarks, they marketed it as gaming, but it was horrible and pretty much tanked. So they were not getting sales of those, especially at the exorbitant prices they're charging for something that overwhelmingly underperforms outside of the efficiency. They really have not gained back the trust of the consumers. Now they just had been having a bad year, and it's time for these big corporate companies to actually care about the customers more. And Intel still has to learn, because they were transparent in their presentation before release that it's not going to be big gains as far as gaming, but they may see improvements in productivity, which there were in some instances, depending on the application you use, and power efficiency, like I mentioned earlier. However, all that good jazz that I just mentioned that they were pushing for their new generation kind of fell flat on its face, because their prices are gouged as far as hundreds and hundreds of dollars for underperforming chips, and they expect to get trust back from the consumers that way. So that's probably the biggest elephant in the room for this year. Now, second, let's go to kind of like an elephant, but more of a disappointment standpoint. AMD Ryzen has been laying Intel to bed for the longest time since the Ryzen started getting better and better and better, the Ryzen series. And so AMD said, you know what, it's time to release Zen 5. And I'm not saying that it is the people who actually, the retailers themselves, but the company itself, they really have to work on their marketing. Because unlike Intel is in hot water still, but they were transparent with the kind of performance games they expect. But again, like the old AMD stuff, they keep shooting themselves in the foot and over promoting and over promising gains that are nowhere relevant than what actual real life testing shows for multiple review outlets. So for the most part though, if you are still a 7000 series for AMD, there really is no need to upgrade to Zen 5 right now, because they've only been about just under 2 years, like 18 months and change for the Zen 4. And if you have Zen 4, this release of Zen 5 that was overly hyped up by AMD's marketing. Their marketing people need to get revamped because they keep making the same mistake ever so often of over marketing something and over promising stuff, and then they throw their hands up when they don't get sales, because Zen 5 sales were very on ultimate low. And as a result, to their poor sales, you know what they did? Typical AMD fashion, they wiped discounts off from all the new lineup, from anywhere from $30 to $60 across the board, from the 16 core counterpart 9950X all the way down to the 6 core, which is a 9600. So that, I guess, you know, it was a good thing, but you won't have to lower your prices so soon out the gate after you just release a new product if you didn't have shot yourself in the foot and overpromised and under-delivered from matching your promises. So I really hope they get their marketing act together, because of that, people that were on Zen 4 started giving it like a meme called Zen 5%, because the most gains people saw over the 7000 series, people who own 7000 series, which is Zen 4, have been 5 to 6%, even less than 10%. And they claim it was 16% IPC uplift, but that was not the case. I guess it didn't relate to real life testing. So, however, for 5000 series and my old 3000 series, as I'm currently on a 3900X, almost 6 years old now, it would be an upgrade. But what's the point of, yeah, the distance are nice, because you can go to Micro Center right now and get the 12 core 9900X for probably like $350, $360, when it launched just a few months ago for $450. So again, they're trying to do quality control after releasing an underwhelming product. But thankfully, it wasn't as hot water as Intel been in for the last year, for the whole year and change, with their poor customer service. And like any company that can't deliver proper customer service and care about the consumers doesn't deserve to get your money. So my talk for these first two parts, Intel get your act together, because if there's a monopoly again, like when you had your 14 nanometer plus, like keep recycling over and over the same chips, and you saw how that played out, not too good for you. And now AMD, just work on your marketing. You need to work on your marketing and be more transparent with what real life gains would be in any workloads, as far as gaming, productivity, whatever that you aim your Zen chips for. If you get your marketing set up and proper, I guarantee you will get more, you won't get more backlash from things that are less percentage gains than you expected. So for AMD, for us, the consumers, to you, work on your marketing and what you say your marketing and what you represent in your marketing, and try not to over promise and under deliver from now on. On that note, guys and gals and my fellow geeks, until next time, this is your boy Lock Tech, signing out.